Welcome in. You're watching Weather AM right here on the Weather Network. We've got lots to cover as we get you closer to your weekend forecast. I'm meteorologist Nicole Karkic. These are our weather headlines for you today. Below seasonal temperatures, we're watching that for the next few days. Snow squalls for some in the province that we have to keep an eye on. Plus, we're going to journey behind the falls. We'll take you to Niagara Falls. It's pretty breathtaking. That's just over a minute from right now. Now, this afternoon, temperatures have been forecast to be below seasonal, -10 for Barrie, -7 for Toronto. Just so you know, our seasonal average for this time of year is 0. So yeah, we're running below that. This does not include our wind chill values, so it's colder when you step outside there. Now, the snow. Everyone's talking about the snow. The packs are insane. As I try to park to pick up my kids, I can't even find a spot because the big snow packs are there. Snowiest February is on record. Let's take a look. We are in the number 2 spot right now. Number 1 goes back to 2008 with 76.8 centimeters. But of course, we still have some February left to go. So we could get up to that number 1 spot. Now for today, it has not been big snow for Toronto or the GTA. We have seen some bursts of flurries. That risk continues into mid-morning, afternoon for Hamilton and for Niagara. We're going to see more of that lake effect enhancement for you. And also this evening, if you're traveling along Highway 21, Kincardine, Goderich, they're continuing to see the lake effect bands pretty intense. Now through tomorrow, it all shuts off. Variable clouds. Saturday between Barrie and Parry Sound along the 400, we'll continue to see some lake effect there. And when the winds kick up because of the banks that are just sitting along the side of the highway, it's pretty intense with whiteout at times. Now, as we take a look at the winds through Saturday, we're going to see some southwest winds get a little bit gusty for Toronto and Niagara, even London too, so a little bit breezy, but overall it's pretty quiet along the 401, along the lake shore in terms of snow. So if you're wondering, are there any big snow storms on the horizon? We're not seeing that for southern Ontario as we look through the end of the weekend. So that's good news. Friday, we're -5. Peaks of sun coming out. Yes, that'll be nice. And then Saturday, we're looking at a similar forecast to Friday. We're -4 in Peterborough. We're -5 in Toronto. So this is still running us below seasonal. We get you closer to seasonal and even above into next week as we see a slight thaw, a little bit of a thaw. February the 20th, welcome in. I'm meteorologist Nicole Karkic. Let's take stock at the current snow on the ground across the country. So many areas are blanketed in big, heavy amounts of snow, including the Greater Toronto region, of course. I drove in this morning and I saw so many cars on side streets just piled in. They haven't gone anywhere. They've got to chip away at the snow. So we got a lot of snow on the ground. And speaking of that, we in Toronto saw the second deepest snowpack on record when we looked at February 17th. The first biggest snowpack went back to January 15th, 1999. Now we've chipped away at that 50 centimeters by a few centimeters. Will we chip away at it more? Well, for this afternoon, not at all. We've got temperatures sitting at -7 for Toronto. Seasonal average is 0. Barrie, you're sitting at -10. Let's pull in the wind chill values, and we're looking at feeling like -14 for Whitby, -13 for Peterborough, -18 for Barrie. So it's a chilly one out there. We're running definitely below average. We've got some northwest winds, and as we take you back from earlier this morning, we did see some bursts of flurries, especially in the west end of the GTA, getting into Hamilton, Niagara, and lake effect snow, courtesy of those northwest winds, will continue along Highway 21, getting into Goderich and Kincardine. Even Niagara could continue to get clipped by that. But then through the overnight, we see variable clouds. Friday, we are nice and dry. Sun's going to even peek out too at times, and then some lake effect continues on Saturday between Barrie and Parry Sound on the 400 highway there. Now, wind-wise, we're going to see some southwest winds kick up as we head into your Saturday afternoon. So we're going to be a little bit gusty, but we're going to be pretty quiet heading into Saturday in terms of active weather. No big storms on the horizon, I will say, as we head into the weekend. So that's good news. We can work on the snow on the driveway and the cars. Friday afternoon, -5 in Toronto. Temperature-wise, here's some good news for the big snow packs as we head into next week.
It is Thursday, February the 20th. It's time for In the Know. Nicole Karkic, Chris Murphy with you. Nicole, we're going to be talking about, there's still lots of weather to talk about. There's some winter storms, big temperature swings coming to parts of the country as well.
Exactly. We'll get all into that in a moment. But first up, let's check this out. Fighting fires in the cold.
Wow. You know, Nicole, I mean, I'm very thankful I get to work indoors, but of course there's so many professions where you have to work outdoors and really bracing the elements, preparing for them, especially when weather turns extreme, whether it's very, very cold or, you know, big winter storms that can deposit an awful lot of snow.
And there's been a lot of extreme weather of late. So as we take stock of the current snow on the ground, Chris, I mean, it's blanketing the whole country,
Pretty
major
much.
cities under the snow. We are getting more snow today too, Chris, in the form of lake effect around Goderich down into London and Hamilton and Niagara. Well, that wraps up, Chris. We'll watch another system hit Atlantic Canada too through tomorrow.
The Avalon Peninsula primarily with snow and wind, but let's just recap some of the snow. So there's up to 15 centimeters of snow around that Goderich area, perhaps more like 5 centimeters or less around Hamilton, Niagara. So just enough to grease up the roads. The eastern townships, 5 to 10 centimeters.
Exactly. And then we move to Atlantic Canada, where we're seeing the Maritime being brushed by this system, but the Avalon gets clipped really nicely with about 15 to 20 centimeters of snowfall. Plus, through Friday, Chris, we're going to see those winds ramp up. So blowing snow, drifting snow, the visibility being reduced with those gusty winds.
Yeah, some hazardous travel and could be some delays and flights cancellation perhaps out of St. John's on Friday. Meanwhile, temperatures, now we heard Connor talk about the story there, how frigid it's been in the prairies. It's still cold in Saskatchewan, Manitoba today, but warming up in Alberta. And then as we get into the weekend, we're going to notice the greens showing up here. That's the milder air coming into the prairie. So big 180-degree turn in temperatures.
Exactly. I mean, the long-range forecast looking very different. Check out Saturday here. The wind chills, just a little blip in parts of Manitoba, but up to +7 in places like Calgary. And we're watching this week through the end of the week, atmospheric river pushing towards BC.